It seems like the quarter-life crisis for most people nowadays is to run a marathon, or at the very least just get into running. 45 is the Porsche, 65 is the condo in Marbella, 25 apparently is a pair of Nike Vaporflies. Not for me, I'm far too cheap for that, and I should probably introduce myself. I'm Rico, a casually competitive runner, a professional amateur, a full-time corporate consultant, and definitely a full-time hobbyist. And in 2023, like every other 25-year-old in their quarter-life crisis, I set out to run a marathon. Jungfrau Marathon, to be precise. It's a mountain marathon in the Swiss Alps, a 42-kilometer course that climbs nearly 2,000 meters of elevation, a picturesque, yet brutal race. Why, you ask? Not for the likes on Instagram, the kudos on Strava, or the awe of my colleagues, but simply for the attention of my mother and approval from her. Because despite being 25, I definitely haven't gotten used to being the younger sibling. I probably should seek professional help on that, seriously. And I'm from Florida, and now live in London. And to be honest, the marathon was at complete odds with my Florida upbringing. In Florida, we have a saying that the clouds are the mountains, which is just a poetic way of admitting that there are none. The highest point, 105 meters. You get the point, but in fairness, London isn't any better, but at least there's more sun than rain in Florida. Anyway, Jungfrau turned into Jungfrauen when I lost my visa on a train in August of that year. And by lost my visa, I mean the entire wallet. The TLDR, I couldn't leave the UK, I couldn't run the race, no marathon. Fast forward to 2024, a whole other year of training to the present day. People don't talk about this part enough. Just getting to the start line is a challenge in and of itself. The race prep, the late nights working, skipped workouts because you stayed up late working, random personal events, even more late nights working, injuries because you're not recovering properly because, you guessed it, you're up late working. Okay, yes, I have a problem. But don't we all? We all have bills to pay. We all have expensive hobbies to fund, like running marathons in Switzerland. The point is, just getting to the start line is an achievement, and it's not just race day, it's every day. It's the act of signing up, the first run, the first shoe purchase, lacing the shoes, getting out the door, and doing it day after day. And like a marathon starting the journey is easy. The motivation is high, your adrenaline's pumping, it's all fresh, the routes are still new and exciting, you've got your new running playlist, and your shoes haven't seen a rainy day in the UK yet. Everyone says, don't go out too fast, which, don't get me wrong, is a good advice, speaking from experience, but make sure you enjoy this part, ride the high, soak it in, because at some point, your priorities will shift, your friends will stop joining you on runs because the distances are too long, the pace is too fast, they'll be at the pub, but you're squeezing in the last 6.5 kilometers of your tempo run before finishing up work you procrastinated all day. Maybe the pub can wait this time. And seriously, I need to figure out this work-life balance thing. We've all been there. The coffee doesn't do it anymore. When the sweets you stash for your fueling strategy just really aren't that appealing, and you're not even halfway, reality sets in. The energy from the start, gone. The high wears off, and the first struggle hits. It might be injury, it might be a fatigue, or just boredom. But it comes for everyone. No amount of free coffee, kudos on Strava, or Instagram posts will get you up the mountain. And this is what separates endurance sports from others. It's just you out there. Sure, maybe you size up the person running next to you, who, judging by his gear, spent more money just to be as mediocrely placed as you are. It's not the person doing laps at Battersea Park, it's not the person lapping you on Monday nights at the track, and it's certainly not your mother's criticism as a child. Again, I really need to get that checked out. Seriously though, it's just you. You're able to stop if you want. No one really will care, and the only thing getting you up that mountain is you. Now, running isn't my passion, not in the way people mean it. I don't know what I'm passionate about, to be perfectly honest, hence the existential crisis, but it's not a hobby either. It's not a routine. Okay, it's sort of a routine. I do it in my free time. I do the same workouts, the same days, every week, mostly. I have an intense desire to do it, but it's also a source of complete frustration, suffering, and at times, the bane of my existence. But that's the only way you sustain this. You get enjoyment from it, yes. Yes, it becomes a core part of your life. Yes, you do it with a desire. But there's also monotony, one foot in front of the other, all the way up the mountain. However, it does deserve more justice than just that. It's a commitment to keep going, even when you don't feel like it, even when the weather's bad, even when the hype is past and it's just a thing you do. For no reason in particular, the pro-am, the casual competitor, the full-time hobbyist. And then it's all over in a moment. Months, maybe years of training, all for a moment, a blip. And then what? You return to work, the commute. You attempt to talk to your colleagues who are impressed, don't get me wrong, but you somehow feel a bit disconnected. How can people relate to this? Even those who ran the same race, everyone trains differently, races differently, has different experiences. And after the Strava post, and after the celebratory pint, and after the 5-month-old Instagram post you're only uploading now to extend the hype, you're back at your desk, back in meetings, back in the daily grind. The build-up, the stress, the speed of life returns, late nights working, training slips, the cycle continues, and something feels off. And then you realize there's only one thing left to do. I get up from my desk, turn off the lights, zip up my quarter zip, lace my shoes, and step out the door. Don't chase the hype. Don't fall back into routine. Embrace the journey or just run away from it. Whatever you do,